Hello there, lads. Welcome back to the Irish Mag podcast, guys. I've got a special guest, and when I mean special, quite literally special. He is one of my closest friends, and he unfortunately is a Scouser. So, if anyone doesn't want to watch this podcast, I really understand. No one wants to listen to Scousers, but I've thought I'd interview him just to get his shitty interviews done and dusted. So, Tim, how's things?
All good, but if I could restate that sentence, I mean, everybody wants to listen to us. We're the most sophisticated fans in the world.
I mean, these are literally, and I quote from United fans, bin dippers. So, the less said about you guys, the better. You're all inbred as well, and no one
Okay.
understands what words you're saying, and that's coming from me, who supports the Geordies, and people find their accents hard. But Scouse is literally a different language. I would say it's for a different continent. Um,
Oh, that's always fun.
well, yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, Tim, let's just get into it. So, give the viewers a brief introduction on how you became a Trampy Scout, or sorry, a Liverpool fan.
Oh. It's just young. I'm a big follower just because my dad used to always he brought me to the pub when he wanted to watch a game or watch it in the house. And when I was very young, I used to not really care for football, but just the more he got me into watching it, I started just falling in love with the game. And Liverpool has just always been the team I've watched from day one since I started liking it. So I love it. I just remember the first game I actually watched that put me in love with them. It's crazy to sound that it was my first, but it was 2005 Istanbul, and I was watching it with my dad in his house, and that's what made me fall in love with them.
Fair enough. It was a very traumatic thing. So yeah, we'll talk about. As I said, I did it with another guy, Curtis Pye, who was a Chelsea fan. So first thing we'll talk about was to say, have you ever been to any live games over in
It,
Anfield, Sheffield, same place?
no, they're not in Anfield, and the reason is because my dad would never bring me to games. Me and Stephen, Stephen, my sister's husband, we were supposed to go to a game last year. Didn't get going, then was supposed to go this year. We had it all planned to go this year, and then you know what happened with this whole COVID.
Corona
So,
hit.
but
Corona hit us
but
all
I
hard.
have because my uncle and granddad have been to games with them. But the disgusting thing is they're United fans, so they brought me to two United games, and I've never been happier to go to those games because both games they drew, and I was Tottenham when they had Bale. I think it was 2-2. The score ended, and then they brought me to a game against Chelsea. I can't remember that game exactly, but Chelsea beat them, which I loved.
So
So
let's just bring this back. So you, as a Liverpool fan, have seen your arch nemesis play twice.
yeah,
May I add, was this at Old Trafford at both stages?
yes.
So you have been to Liverpool's arguably arch nemesis in football. They're obviously Everton's local, but you've seen their arch nemesis in world football play at their home ground twice, but you have not once experienced Anfield.
Oh, if my uncle was a Liverpool fan, I'd be in Anfield because he was the one that brought me to games. I'd never been to a game with my father. My father's never been to a live match himself. Stephen has. Stephen's been to many, and that's why Stephen's trying to bring me. So, but my
Oh
uncle and
yeah,
granny United fans, so I had to go there with them. But I almost got killed at the Tottenham match because I was supposed to hide that I wasn't a United fan. When Bale ran up the pitch, a really good goal scored, I started celebrating. Got the biggest dirty looks of my life and thought I was going to get killed.
I mean, if you are sitting at the home fans, I would probably say like I could imagine sitting at St James's and someone sitting celebrating beside me. It would be very hard not to swing at him. Like,
Oh, I
um,
know.
well, there we
Uh,
are. There, so there's the first experience then. So your first experience of live football was Manchester United. Was this pre-Fergie era, or was this Fergie era, or after Fergie?
I'm trying. It was either Fergie or David Moyes, but I don't think I've been to
Oh,
a David
Jesus.
Moyes game from as far as I remember. So I think it was Fergie. I really do think
I
it
was
was
going to
Fergie.
say, at least you saw a half decent United then, not the ones the
This
terrible one
is
you have to.
this is back when I had Kagawa and all, so it was.
Oh yeah, that's definitely Fergie then. Oh god,
Yeah,
yeah, because
that's what.
yeah, the left. I think the year Fergie retired.
And then Bale was playing for Tottenham then as well, so I don't think Bale was there after Fergie.
Well, Bale left for Madrid was in 14 or 15. So yeah, it would have been
No, that's
before that.
around
Which
just when David Moyes came in.
yeah, that's Moy. I think it was Moyes' first year for United. But
Yeah.
right, okay. So yeah, as you say, your first memory then. the first ever memory game that you remember watching was Istanbul. That's funny enough. That's what I wrote down here was one of the notes to talk about. But just give me a brief introduction. As I say, Liverpool fans love to talk about it. They love reliving their history. I think every sports person knows this. They live in the past. They don't live in the present. They're currently trying to live in the present, but they don't
Yeah,
live in the future anyway.
we are living in the present anyway.
Yeah, well, it's because you're having a bit of a wonder year. Um, but just if you can, I know you're younger than me, and I can barely remember Istanbul myself, but just give me like sort of brief memories of what was the feelings, the experience, what was happening, what you thought when it was 3-0, and stuff like that.
Okay, well, the reason I can remember Istanbul, I know I was young. I was about 8. The only reason I remember Istanbul is because of then the Champions League final 2007, where AC Milan got their revenge. So that's how I
Yeah,
can kind of mix in the two feelings from both of them. And just during Istanbul, watching it with my dad, I didn't really know what to think because I'd only started getting into the love of it. But I felt upset because I could see he was physically upset from it. And then I just started loving the game. So I started just thinking, it's over. I don't even think I want to watch the rest of it. I don't know what to do. But I was like, sure, I'll sit down. I'll watch the rest of it. Fucking how many minutes? 52nd minute, second half. Jared puts that wee header into the corner. And then that's when the belief just started. And then Smeetzer's nice wee wonder goal from outside the box. And then that's when all we thought was there actually is hope. Running around the room, even though we were still getting beat by a goal, we're still running around the room going mental. And
it's a
then
fair point. Like,
Gerard goes down, and I didn't know what to think. And then my heart sunk. My heart sunk when the keeper, Duda, saved that penalty. My heart actually stopped, and I was like, ah. And then
yeah,
a nice wee rebound goal for Shabby. And I still remember that team. That team was probably one of the best teams we had in a long time. They go up against an AC Milan, probably AC Milan's best team
very
in a long time.
probably ever, I would say, in my opinion.
I see. I'll
That
always be
was
proud. I'll always be proud of that match.
so. Here's something. So I spoke about it in the last podcast with Curtis.
Yeah,
For me, yes, Gerard won. Gerard, I think, was the influence on the pitch. That
yeah,
obviously he was the skipper at the time. But for me, the glue that did not get a lot of credit, which you threw him under the bus, and I don't think you will
Rafa.
agree with me. Yeah,
No,
Rafa
I
was
agree.
the main reason for me why Istanbul happened. Like he said, I've never met a man so tactically smart of the game of other from Fergie and Sir Bobby was the main two I can remember. But for me, he just like there was something I would love to have been a fly in the wall. I'd love to have seen what happened in that dressing room in Istanbul at halftime. I'd love to know who was going mad because you've seen Stevie G talk about in his documentary saying it was him
Yeah.
and Carragher and Rafa, all three, the main sort of three guys in the top of the change room, which you could put them in the tier. But for me, I would love to hear Liverpool fans' aspect of why Rafa didn't get the credit that he deserved. Because every time you talk about Istanbul, two players come into mind, arguably two or three, and it's always Stevie G, Shabby, and Dudek. So why, for me, is Rafa not put in? Rafa should be first because at the end of the day, he's the one that puts the teams, drills the team, gets the team out, and goes. So for me, I
But
want to hear Liverpool fans' aspect of it.
but you have to look at it as in football terms is how do you remember games? Nobody really remembers games by the manager, even those that should. I know Rafa Benitez, one of the best managers we've ever had. I was never more pissed off when he actually got sacked, which he shouldn't have because best manager in a long time. We're lucky to have Klopp now though. But it's just what I remember from that game is the goal scorers and then in penalties, Dudek. Like Dudek, that man is mental. Some of the saves he made in that match, that's why he's always
The
in
one,
the game coming up.
the one
Spaghetti
he made
legs,
against
we
him.
call him.
But would you say he was Liverpool's best ever goalkeeper? Would you put him higher than Rana?
Ah, Dudek, he's had his times, but he was never really like that was the one game I actually remember from him that he actually shown himself, whereas other games he could be rusty or could make mistakes. But that's like Reina. Reina was such a good goalkeeper for us, but the nickname for him, Butterfingers, he could never hold the ball. keepers are hard to judge because of their mistakes, and that's all you remember really from goalkeepers. Because look at Mignolet when he joined Liverpool. I think he's
Yeah,
not great, but he made so many good saves, made so many penalty saves, and then he makes a couple of mistakes he's done. Karius, let's not even talk about him as a goalkeeper or even a professional footballer. I can't. And then Alisson, he's a good goalkeeper, but since he's made a few mistakes and people are judging him on his mistakes rather than his
I
actual
think
work as a
I did
goalkeeper.
think I think that's the life as a goalkeeper because you're in the
Yeah,
net. If you make a mistake, 99% of the time you end up with the ball in the back of the net, and you can't. Most goalkeepers are in defenses of what can happen. I can agree with that, but
that's
um,
why I find it hard to judge. Like I would say, Reina for me would probably be the better goalkeeper than Dudek. Dudek had just an uh, it's like he
so
was
we'll leave that.
possessed that game.
Yeah, we'll leave that part for the end because that's the end. I'll get you to name your best Liverpool 11 of what you've seen live, past and present. But we'll get to that
Yeah,
at the end. But the next thing I want to talk about then after Istanbul is exactly what you've already went on about Benitez's sacking. So for me, I can remember briefly Benitez getting sacked and Liverpool fans calling for his head. I, I understand Benitez never won you the league. In my opinion, other than Klopp, he's the closest that I've ever got you there. I don't think Rodgers had the team, but
Rogers
didn't
had
have
us
the
close as
mind.
well.
Yeah, I just think Rodgers had the team, but not the mindset to get you there. Where I think Rafa always, for every player you always hear talking about Benitez, he isn't one of the guys that will push you into the change room. He's always one of them guys that will, or into his office. He's one of the guys that will just push you on the field.
Yeah,
So you always started with Stevie talking about that. Is the fact that he was never a one-on-one. He was never one something you would have came to if you had a problem. For example, it was
but
always
that's
Rafa
what
was just
Jared. Yeah,
calling
that's what
for it.
Jared and Carragher were there for. They
Yeah,
were
so
there
I
to
think
do
that's
that.
what
He was there to team manage.
I think that's what the glue was. So I want to get the aspect of what led up to Rafa's sacking. So Rafa, what you finished fourth that season, I think, when Rafa got the boot,
Fourth,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was fourth because that's around. That's it was since his sacking. Like, well, we had already started going downhill. We started sixth, seventh.
Oh, I think we're having a few wee technical issues here. Tim, you've lost the audio there, sir.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I hear you now.
Yeah.
I hear you now.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. So yeah, we got rid of Rafa in 2010, but that's around the time that we started going downhill. Like we finished fourth, but even just before that, what was leading up to it, well, you can add in that 2007 Champions League. Even though we won it 2005, we lose it 2007. Then we couldn't get any good run of form since then. I think it was that loss in 2007 that was our downfall for playing what we like to call good football under Rafa. But we should we should have given him more time. I know he had a lot of time with Liverpool, but I did not want to throw him under the bus too early because he was probably the only manager around that time that could manage us, who would want to manage us, I mean, and who could actually bring us back to the top. But it's Champions League success is what Liverpool base their managers off. If we don't keep getting Champions League football, FSG wants to sack them. I am not a big fan of FSG. I know they give us money to put into the club, but I've never been a big fan of FSG. And I know
See,
other clubs
Liverpool's
like Newcastle have an owner who they don't want, and
yeah.
they've got reasons because they don't care about the club. I know FSG
Mhm.
cares about the club, but I just don't like them with their manager progression, the way they've chose the managers and the way they've chose to sack a lot of our managers, just like Brendan. I think Brendan was also sacked too early, just like Rafa.
Yeah, well, I can agree. Like Liverpool don't like Klopp seems to be the one that they've wanted back the most recently. You can see that from fan aspect alone. But bringing it back to Rafa sense, yeah, I can agree. Like he, as you know, he came to us and we idolized him and put him as a hero. And well, again, we haven't had a manager that high caliber since, and probably will never will unless this takeover
Yeah,
goes through. But we'll get to that later. But um, yeah, no, it was sad, but at the end of the day, he did move on. Like he went to manage the club that he played for when he was younger, and he went to play and manage. Now he didn't have a successful career at Madrid, but he did go on to manage them. And as I
yeah.
say, that was his dream move for his managerial career. He did say it was one that he didn't really get a lot out of, but at the end of the day, he went back and he did what he wanted to do. So, yeah, no, as I say, so we'll move on to the next point, and it is what you've literally, again, you keep reiterating my points that I wrote down. Don't stop. Um, is I got again bringing it back to that. I want to get every sort of top six fans aspect of this takeover for the Newcastle fans. So as anyone doesn't
Yeah.
know, we're close to getting bought by a public investment fund, funded mainly by Mohammed bin Salman, who is the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Richest, I think we will be the richest club in the world if it does go through at 260 billion. But there's also a 10% investment from the Reuben brothers and Amanda Stavely, so that brings up the whole 200% that would own Newcastle. But I want to get your. I asked Curtis the same question. So this takeover was to go through, which I'm not going to get on about. I will make a solo podcast about that eventually. I just don't want to do it because every time I talk about it, do you feel intimidated as a Liverpool fan that you will not challenge for the league if this goes through? So, for example, I'm going to put it into my dream aspect that we get Rafa or Poch. They get a 300 million kit you fucking going mad with. They get the players they want, and we have to like. Do you feel intimidated to the point where you forget about European football? I'm on about just domestically.
Yeah.
Do you think you feel intimidated to the sense that Newcastle will challenge you in every sense that way? Will take most of the domestic cups, or do you feel that Newcastle will just sit where we are and not move?
I've already talked with you about this before, like just when we're chatting. I won't feel intimidated straight away, and that's because when they come in, it's going to take 2 to 3 years. When you get your players to click, everyone's going to have to click. But I do see you as becoming one of the top teams again after it. So that is why every team has to feel intimidated. City, with their money, don't have as much as this man. So they're even going to feel intimidated, and they're going to draw in. Now Newcastle's going to turn into the City, which everybody was intimidated by City. But now, if this happens, City's going to go on a wee downward. I see them going on a downward spiral because of it. But I still think only if we can keep our top players, which Liverpool doesn't usually do, then I will be very worried. Then I would be very worried. But if we keep a lot of our top players, I think even with your money, we still could challenge. May not win it, but I think could challenge. But yes, to answer your question, I will, after 2-3 years of giving time for your players to use buy to click, I will feel intimidated, but not straight away.
So, yeah, well then, at least Curtis, bring it just in case you didn't watch. Curtis didn't feel intimidated as a Chelsea fan. He does think he will love. I think every person in England says this. Newcastle fans, the North East said, Newcastle is a sleeping giant of England. We've got, in my opinion, obviously the best fan base. We've got one of the biggest stadiums. We do have the biggest stadium outside the top six.
Yeah.
So to sort of bring it back that sense, like, yeah, well, I don't. Do I agree? Yeah, well, I do think it will. I would say maybe not the first season. If this takeover goes through, if the guys can get it over with before the season starts, then I would be before next season.
You just need a whole summer. You just need a whole summer of new players to click.
Yeah, they need to. Obviously, the club will be. From what we know as Newcastle fans, the club is going to be completely gutted out from top to bottom. So it's good in that sense that we're getting rid of some dead wood inside the club. Obviously, Ashley being number one and then Lee Charnley being number two.
Can I ask you one question about if the takeover happens, where do you think that your positions will change, like players in your starting squad right now? How many of that starting squad do you think will still be there? That's what I want to know from your point of view.
Well, to go through it as a Newcastle fan, number one, Dubravka has to stay. In my opinion, he's the best goalkeeper in the league this year. I don't understand. Maybe from Sheffield, maybe. But Dubravka has kept us in more games than I've kept my dinners out of my belly. So the man's a hero. So Dubravka will stay. Wingers were depending on who comes in, really is where Newcastle will have to look at. So Poch was to come in. Poch will go 3 at the back with 2 wing backs, and Rafa will do the same, but Rafa plays a flat 5. with two wing
Okay.
backs. So either way, you're looking at a wing back scenario. So left wing back Matt Ritchie, I think he's still got it. He's a pinger of a left foot, and he shows a hell of a lot of passion, and he gets up and down. So I think Ritchie will stay. The skipper has to stay. Jamal Lascelles is my favourite player in the club.
I
Has to
agree.
stay. He's the glue in the he is for me. He's the glue in the change room.
Yeah.
Uh, you've got Shar will stay. Shar's good enough. In my opinion, he'll get a big move
Shar's
soon.
unreal.
Yeah, he'll get a big money move. If we don't get this takeover, he'll definitely get a big money move away. Lejeune got a bad injury. Was it last year, a year before, towards ACL? So that sort of picked him down a wee bit. So I think I disagree. I don't think he's good enough to stay anymore. He's a great player, great on the ball, but he's not good enough.
Yeah.
Kieran Clark again came on maybe the last before Corona stuttered the season. Stuttered the season. He was doing brilliant, but he's an Irishman. I love him to bits, but I would keep him on the bench just because he's Irish alone. Um, then that would be sort of the back. If Poch or Rafa was to come in, that would probably they would look at, because all the rest is all youth and they're not really that great. Federico Fernandez, he's past his peak, but he's been brilliant for us this season. He's been a rock beside Lascelles, so 50-50. There's a lot of players. I'm not going to go through the team because it'll take a lot of people too long. But
Yeah.
there's probably like the ones that will go will definitely they know themselves will go. Like the likes of Joe Linton, we spent 40 million on, and I understand as a striker and he's a different country and he's Brazilian. He will struggle. I understand that, but as a Newcastle fan, wearing a number 9, you've got to hit the ground running and quick, like they did, for example. But yeah, there's a lot of there's for me out of the starting 11, most common starting 11 that we would name.
Yeah.
If Poch was to come in, I think he would only keep 4. If Rafa was to come in, I think he'd keep a lot, maybe 6 or 7. But it's all varying on what managers coming through the door, really. I think a lot of it will be based on who enters the manager's office. If Poch was to enter, you see a complete rehaul. Like I do know Poch has a lot of respect for a lot of Newcastle players. He has said that, at the last game we played at Tottenham Hotspur, when we beat them at the Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, it'll be different. It'll be good to see. For me, it'll be. What they do on the pitch is completely up to theirs. It's look at their own philosophy, play it as long as we win or we look good. Like at the end of the day, Newcastle fans, all we ask for is wear the badge of pride and go out and do us a bit of justice and something to cheer about. We're not like the top 6 and we'll win every game. We're not real. We're not like real. We're being realistic at the end of the day. So,
I could say even first season you should make it to European football, like even Europa League, even if they haven't clicked. But I don't see top 4 in your first season.
No, if this takeover, I'm going to put it into like we're going to pretend. So the takeover gets through.
Yeah.
Who I want through the door myself personally is Rafa. If he knows the city, he knows the club, he knows the staff, he knows everyone around the club. He's a man that can build. He is. Pochettino, that aspect, that what he did with Tottenham it's unbelievable. He built a team with no money and sort of stuff like that. But the team, the one would like Rafa, I would go for Rafa. I would obviously do what they need to do above. So get rid of Charnley mainly. Charnley needs to go. Our chief scout as well. I can't remember what you call him. He needs to go as well. Like some of the guys that he's found are dog shit.
Yeah.
So I would get rid of them two first, and then work your way down. But for me, we'll bring it back to your point. I would probably be happy with the cup. I wouldn't care if it's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup.
Just anything.
I don't. Newcastle haven't won a cup since 58, so so we need to win some sort of silverware, like a major silverware. And to give credit, bring it back to Stevie Bruce. Stevie Bruce had us at this moment in time in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, which is due to play on the 27th of June.
Have you got the fixture date for that?
Yeah, we got 27th of June. The FA are looking to do it, with the final being played on the 1st of August. So everything going well. If Brucey does it, give him 2 years. If Brucey somehow manages to win Newcastle a cup, give him whatever he wants. Give him 3 or 4 year extension. No Premier League manager's ever done, or no manager's ever done it for us. So I'll be happy with Brucey to do that. But yeah, no, it's the takeover. As I say, it's for me as a Newcastle fan. It's well, if it happen, I think if with a lot of things, if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. I don't know. Every time I get excited about a takeover, it never happens. So I'm just not going to get excited anymore. It's a lot easier that way. But yeah, well, we'll just I just wanted to get your opinion, Liz. So I've got Liverpool and Chelsea, so we'll get someone else on, maybe a United one. So they're all
Yeah.
glory hunters. We'll get another aspect, but yeah, we'll sort of go on now to the last couple of segments. So this one, I want you. So basically, all I want you to do is name your manager, best ever manager that you've seen. You can that had it in the top 11, because I don't want. We could go on and
It's
talk
like,
about Jurgen's.
did I physically seen, or did I just know of, as in
But
like
whatever.
manager, like
You,
I would say Bobby Shankly, but if it's going to be one I've seen, it's Rafa.
no,
Rafa
you
or
could do
Klopp.
either. Like literally either. So, well, just before we go on to that final segment, I'll give you a brief. I want to give you a brief. I want to talk to you briefly about Jurgen Klopp and Rodgers things. I
Okay.
won't make it. I don't want to make the episode too long.
Yeah.
So we'll go from after Rafa. After Rafa, I think Dalglish came in. Am I right in saying that?
Roy Hodgson came in for a year
Hudson
first.
Hudson came in, and then it was a Dalglish, and then
Dalglish,
Rodgers.
and then Rogers, and then
Yeah,
it
so
was Mr. Jurgen.
we'll skip straight to Rodgers thing, because there's a lot of happened that no one wants to talk about there none of that year. So Rodgers came in.
Yeah.
From us as a stamp, yeah, me and Tim are from both from the north of Ireland, Northern Ireland politically correct, but um, Rogers is from Ballymoney, which is only maybe 2 hours away from us, so he's quite a local lad, really. It was nice to see him do well now with Leicester.
Yeah.
What was the reaction when Rogers came in? Because me personally, I knew very, very little about him until he got the Liverpool job.
I'm going to
And
be honest with you too. I'm the exact same. I knew nothing of him, had no hope when he came in. All I heard of him is he likes telling people they got great character. So I didn't really know what to think of him coming in. And he did inherit, I would say, I would call it a strong enough squad.
oh God,
Because
yeah,
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 because he came in when Suarez was pretty much at his peak. I would say his peak. If I'm not wrong, was it? I'm trying to remember. Coutinho, was it Dalglish signing him before he? No, I think it was Brendan Rodgers that signed Coutinho in the
It was
first
Rodgers.
season. First
Yeah,
season, yeah,
first time.
and that was probably the best signing Liverpool has made. Rodgers' best signing. That was Rodgers' best signing by far. So it
Yeah, I
was.
would agree with that. So for me, Rogers has proved me wrong, and I did say he's proved me wrong right now. But when Liverpool had Rogers and we're doing well, I always said Rogers was never a good enough manager. It was, for me, you had the core of the spine of Liverpool. Then probably would have been, was it Skirtle, Stevie G in the middle, and
Daniel
then you would have
Agger.
had Suarez,
Oh, you mean just
Agger,
yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
yeah. So that would have been like your main spine of the team. For me, that was what this. I understand the manager has to drill them, train them, instruct them. I understand that, but for
yeah.
me, the quality of the Liverpool squad just won. Like, you had like a really young,
He
talented.
created SAS, and then
Yeah,
well SAS at the time. I would say Sterling, Suarez, and Sturridge.
yeah.
Those
That's
three
like that.
together were unreal.
Yeah, like them three alone were amazing, and would probably go down as one of Liverpool's top three, other from the three you have at the moment. But
Yeah.
um, like, yeah, just to bring it back. So Rodgers comes in, and he first season, I think they finished third. Am I mistaken? You were in the Champions League, or you were in Europe? You won
No,
got to the final of the Europa League that year, I think,
that
and got
wasn't
beat.
that. I don't think that was Rodgers' first season.
No,
I'm trying to remember because I thought our first season he took over from Kenny because Kenny got fired and we were sitting down in sixth or seventh. I think it might have been sixth because we were in Europa League football then next season. I think,
right?
if I'm
Yes,
not
right. Okay.
mistaken, because that's Brent Rogers had a few. He had a horrible start, as in a sense that he got brought in to take over from Kenny Dalglish's mishaps, not winning games. We went through a horrible spell between Kenny and start of Brendan Rodgers, but that's because Brendan Rodgers didn't
Yeah.
get to make the signings he needed. But and then I think it was Europa League football then that he would give in, if I'm
Because
not mistaken.
was Rodgers not the one that got used to the final in Sevilla, and he's got beat?
No, that was Jurgen Klopp.
Was it? Was it
Yeah,
Jurgen?
I'm
Oh,
pretty sure Brendan Rodgers never brought us to a final. Well, no,
He's got
he
the
brought, well, cup, like not domestic cups, yeah, but I don't think he ever brought us to European Cup
no,
finals.
because sure that the European ones. I remember you just got you just got beat to the
Sevilla was our
Bernabeu,
first
and I
time
don't think
in a while.
um yeah, well, like it's yeah, well, I just wanted to briefly touch on what your opinion was of Rodgers, basically, because you can maybe go into a bit more detail about. As I say, I didn't really follow a lot of Liverpool
Like,
until really they got Wonder Years and Jurgen,
yeah.
um, but I just want to get like, your brief what went wrong with Rodgers, really, other from I think losing Suarez was that was the axe to chop his head off at Liverpool. I think.
Exactly, we had to get rid of him. But I just don't think that the owners had that much trust in him. I thought the man did brilliantly to bring Liverpool from losing games left, right, and centre for how many years since Rafa left? That was about, I would
Rafa
say,
left in was it 4 years maybe
2000,
4 5 years.
4 or 5 years. It was just non-stop. We're not doing this. We can't do that. It was just
Mm-hmm.
horrible to watch Liverpool. Then Brendan Rodgers comes in and he seems like a second season. He just changed the whole team completely. 13-14 season, the team that he had built, we had the cojones to go the whole way. But that, I'm not even going to talk about that year, what happened. But I think that's where the owners started going, like, he can't actually do it. He can't push this team to glory. And then
Well,
next
that was
season,
one.
he lost 3 games in a row, and that's why they sacked him around Christmas time. 3 games in a row, they just sacked him and went, "Sorry, you're not going to do it for us." But Liverpool's always
But
bad at Christmas time.
I think with Liverpool managers, they seem to always have a bit of character about him. I never forgot that with Roger. I always thought Roger was very dull in press conferences. Like even with Rafa, when Rafa wasn't
Yeah,
excited, he wasn't ever like buzzy,
he
but he was
he
always
was
very
dull, but
smart in what he
he
said.
knew what he was doing. He knew what he was
Yeah,
doing. Like
he was
he,
very
as a
smart.
manager, he's very tactical. He's very tactical.
He's always like Carragher and Stevie G said it again that he's always thinking about football. So,
Exactly.
um, he was but like he's a dream for me to get back into the club for Newcastle, but as I say, it's not up to me, unfortunately.
I think it was
But
too
yes,
early.
we'll move it on to the segment where you mentioned, which I forgot all about actually until I looked at my book. The slip, as we're going to put it, the famous slip.
That's what I didn't
So
want to
let
talk
let
about.
let's bring it back. So Liverpool beat Stoke. Was it four or no? Wasn't Stoke? Who did you just beat away? When Stevie said it, I think it was
Norwich. Norwich.
Norwich,
Norwich
and the famous
3-2.
yeah, the famous huddle where Stevie G had the whole team around him saying, "We don't let this fucking slip now. We don't let this slip now."
No. Wait, no. It was Norwich we beat 3-2. Then it was City. It was Man City who went out and played and beat them 3-2. And since we
You
beat
sure?
City, yeah, because he before at the Norwich game, he was like, "Okay, we do the same this next week." Went out did the same against City 3-2 because that's when he got the huddle was from the whole City game because everybody was
Was it a
buzzing
smaller stadium?
When Coutinho scored the screamer. Well, not the screamer, like Company made the mistake. He slots it into the right hand side of the net, and then after the game, everybody's going mental. Stevie G gets the huddle and goes like, "Okay, we do not let this slip. Don't let this fucking slip."
Yeah. So let's then talk. Right. So the slip happens,
Mm-hmm.
and then no, sorry. So that happens. That initial stage of Stevie G getting the whole team around him, gathering the troops, getting the whole everything behind him, the fan base, the city, the whole entire, literally the entire. I even think some Evertonians might have been converted at that stage as well. Got back then. I think you go and play. You don't play Chelsea. I think you play someone else and then play Chelsea. Am I not mistaken? You went on. You beat someone after you beat City before you went
Then
on to play
then
Chelsea.
I might have been right what I said. I think it was City, then Norwich, and then
Yeah, yeah, it
because
was. Yeah,
I know
yeah,
we
because
won
City won
three
that.
two. We won 3-2 in both those games. I know that. I just couldn't
Yeah,
remember
so
which one was first.
then the Chelsea game happened. So the man himself arrives at Anfield. The
Jose
man that
Mourinho.
no one likes to play, Jose Mourinho, gets his bus, Chelsea bus, slaps it right in front of the goal. Does what he does best.
Couldn't break it.
So let's break the game down. So I think it was think Demba Ba scored was like a 32nd minute, I think, wasn't it? Something silly like that. There was the first half, or was
I
it
think it
later
was
on?
late. No, it was either late first half, early second half. But I've never watched the game back. I watched it that one time, and I'm never watching it again.
So
So trying to
let's
remember.
break it down. I want you to try and give me the reaction that every single Liverpool fan experienced because I'm not gonna lie, I pissed my shit.
I
I
know
couldn't
you
stop
did.
laughing. I couldn't laugh till this day every time I see it, and I'm not going to apologize. I loved it, and I still love it because my in-laws' family are all a Liverpool fans. So any chance I get to mention it, I will mention it. Um, so I want you just to try and dance it up into a
Don't
point
worry, I will.
of every fan's emotions when you see. I think who passed it to Stevie G? Or was it a quarter? Someone knew it was a quarter to throw in. Stevie G goes to turn
Yeah, it
and
was a
grab the
throw in from the
ball.
left hand
Yeah.
side. He tries to take it down with
And
his right foot.
and then the famous slip happens, and then funny enough, an ex Newcastle, an ex
Um,
Magpie. Just in case no one knew that, Tim back there, not the
oh,
man.
I don't.
So just before I'm going to start talking, I just want you just to say, try your best to just give every other fan base that was laughing at you, because I'm telling you now, every fucking club was laughing at you. Um, just try and explain what was going through your minds. You're trying to find everyone in Liverpool to just
Yeah. Okay, so the start of the game going good. We're sitting there attacking, frustrating as shit, trying to break down Jose Mourinho's defense, which so many teams fail to do. So we do that. I'm sitting there going like, I actually think we could do this. Just scrape 1-0, even just keep it 0-0. I wouldn't be complaining. However, then that throw in comes in, and I wasn't really even kind of looking at the screen because it was a throw in. There was no attackers apart from Bap there, so I was like, nothing's going to happen. So I'm sitting there talking. I think Stephen I was watching it with, and then all I hear is devil, and I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? Me all trying to go mental, screaming at the TV after seeing that replay, literally just anger. It wasn't even me being upset. It was full on just anger. And then there's us coming back, getting our chances. I think Petr Cech was in goal for them, saving fucking everything under the sun, just not letting us score. And then it has to be our ex-player, then the run up for the 2-0. Good thing he didn't fucking score it because I would have hated him. The man didn't want to score the goal. They put it 2-0, so he passed it to Willian, Mr. Torres. But that game, after it upset, to say the least, anger was my main emotion. But after the game, I just didn't really know what to think. I think I just didn't talk to anybody for a full 2 hours. I just sat by myself, just me and Stephen. We were sitting together, but we didn't talk to each other. We just sat on our phone, just looked at the phone, didn't really know what to
sorry, but
say.
even thinking about it now, I'm still laughing. I just keep replaying it in my mind. But I think it was more of who it happened to than how it happened.
I
I think
know.
that's what made a lot of people laugh at it
It's just
because,
because he said it and it happened. I think if he didn't say
yeah,
that and we didn't hear him say it, it wouldn't be such a big thing.
yeah, I think if when the cameras weren't closed and you didn't hear Stephen G say that, then I don't think it would have been that bad.
But I still don't
Um,
even think that everyone
but
says that's the reason we lost the league, but that is not the reason. The reason we lost the
so yeah,
league was oh, sorry.
yeah, I'm gonna Palace. So we'll bring it back. So say you think he's lose 1-0 or 1-1 to Chelsea, and I think he's
Two
going.
two
He's not
nil.
going 2-0.
They scored 90th
Um,
minute as well.
that's very decisive to Williams. So you lose 2-0 to Chelsea. We'll
Yeah.
go on till I think it was the second last game of the season. He's going to play Palace away at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, we had two more games. It was
And
Palace and then Hughes were our last game of the season.
yeah, we were. I'm sure we were fucking. I think we were going at that stage anyway.
Yeah.
So let's go. So this game,
It was
I
even
let
more
you.
embarrassing. This game,
It was let you define it because again, listen. Funny enough, it was another Magpie that Barry just quite seems to be an ongoing circuit here. But keep going.
so
Recurrent.
I just don't know really what happened. We're cruising. We're sitting there, 1, 2, 3, winning 3-0, comes up. And I think it was up till like the 78th minute. We were 3-0 too. And there's me like, okay, if we win, because if we won our last two games, we still would have won the league. But winning against Chelsea would have pretty much guaranteed it. And that's why everybody says with Chelsea in, but it was Palace. Like, we let Dwight Gale, I think he scored two of the goals, did he?
He did, yeah. He
Two
did.
goals. Like, it was just sloppy defense, and that's why we were never good enough to actually win the league because our defense was fucking shocking. Like, oh, I can't even fathom what happened. They just opened up. I think they just took their eye off the ball because they're winning 3-0. They think they can just cruise through. And that's what Brendan Rodgers always said is no matter how much you're winning, do not take your eye off the ball. You keep playing until the final whistle because anything can happen in football. But no, everybody starts just letting go. Nobody knows what to do. Can't defend. Suarez is staying up the pitch, not coming back and defending. And then that third goal goes in, and I think, I threw the phone across the room. Even thinking about it, it's making me angry. It is actually making me angry, mate, just thinking about that game.
Yeah, it was a pretty funny game, and again, it had to be a current Magpie Berry. Just seems to be an ongoing thing.
I
Was a
know.
Magpie Berry. So yeah, we'll just briefly go on, because this episode's longer, but briefly go on now to then Jurgen stage, which is now, even I can admit, it's well, it's hard to say, but these are all right, I guess, this year
All right.
and the last. Um, so Jurgen comes in, and I think everybody knows Jurgen Klopp, who just managed Borussia Dortmund. I don't think Jurgen Klopp is ever going to leave Dortmund, in my opinion, until he got a club with that sort of fan base again.
Yeah.
Uh, so when the Liverpool job came up, I think he
Took it in the click of a finger.
yeah, I think there was one night he played Dortmund and he actually clapped
Uh, that was
the clap
the
sign.
that was the year of the Sevilla final in the Europa League. And it
That's
was
right. He just
once
came back in
again we
the
came back
Anfield.
and went
Yeah.
against them. There's something about
Yes.
Anfield and European nights. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk of one of the games. I'm going to talk about two games in Euro Clubs because we could go on and on and on
Oh, I
on, and I
know.
want to get the final 11 sorted. So We'll talk about main two. So the main two I want to talk about is that night. The night of that game. It always seems to be at Anfield. It's never anywhere else. At Dortmund,
Exactly.
where you come back and you just end up losing the Europa League final. But he's come back, and I think who was it? One of their centre backs. It might have been
It
Lovren
was
scored the.
Dejan Lovren and Sacco scored the second and third goal.
So let's go. So I remember watching
It's
this.
fourth goal even, yeah. Dejan Lovren got the winner, sorry.
Yeah, so I remember watching this at a local bar, and the boy that I worked at the bar at the time, but it wasn't working. I worked with was actually a Liverpool fan, and I remember him when the last goal went in, going around the bar, the t-shirt all going mad, and yeah, I would do the same if it was Newcastle. But I want to get you to break it down like you did with the last two,
I
stage
can
by stage,
I can remember
emotions.
this game off by heart
Yeah,
because I was at Tanya's house. And so I'm watching the game. I think who scored first? I'm trying to remember if it was them or Divock Origi that
I think it
got
was
the.
Dortmund. Yeah, I think it was
Oh
Dortmund
no,
that got
yes,
first because I can remember
Dortmund scored
Mkhitaryan. I think
first.
scored.
Yeah, Mkhitaryan
Yeah,
scored because the save just went straight back to him. So there's me going like, okay, it's 1-1 aggregate. I think we won 1-0 or it was 1-1 first game. I'm trying to remember the exact scores, but I remember that game. So after that, Divock Origi scores. I'm all happy again, bouncing around the room. And then they get two more. I think it was Aubameyang scores, putting it in the
Aubameyang.
top right corner, and then
Yeah.
Marco Reus with, not gonna lie, a beautiful goal. And then there's me just sitting, turning to my sister, going like, I'm fucking done. I'm done with this football match. I'm turning it off. I actually can't watch this anymore. Like, I was swearing everything under the sun. And then I was like, okay, I'll watch it and just see if anything can happen. And then, I don't know, we just started scoring goals. Coutinho was the reason, like, I had hope again. The banger, he scored, like, he does a Coutinho special and scores a wonder goal outside the box. And then that's when I had hope. And then Sacco, corner, bounces right in front of him, heads it in. There's me then starting jumping up. But then when I saw that Dejan Lovren jump, goosebumps still to the day of watching it back. I was literally jumped up on the seat. and started screaming, just like going mental around the house. And I kind of forgot that some people may have been sleeping in the house at that time.
Mine with
So,
Tanya's children, maybe your niece and nephew,
yeah.
or your dad. Yeah. So
uh,
yeah. Well, when all they go on, so there's another match I want to talk about before we go on to the Barca one because I don't want. We could talk about Klopp's current. We'll talk a wee bit more about the current one, but um, I was with you this time. We were in the bar watching it, the Madrid final.
I don't.
Um, so I will give the viewers a bit of a description. So this podcast, my guys, might go on for a bit longer. So we were in our local, I'll not name it just in case they don't want to be named. Um, in our local, Tim's sister and his brother-in-law were there, and then three of our friends were there. I think Murray, JJ, Jordan, and Mick.
Mitchell was there.
Mitchell as well. So the Mitchell, so there was actually near 8 of us there. We're watching our local pub was bonged and the place was
Like
booming
it
at
was
the
hard to
time.
find a seat.
Yeah, we weren't even. I think the only person that had a seat was your sister. So we were watching it, and obviously, I think then, I think we went in. We were watching it, and I think he went in 0-0 at half time. I don't think Madrid. Ronaldo scored the first
No, no,
half.
no. I don't know. Ronaldo didn't score against us. It
He
was
scored. He
the
did. He did. He scored later on, did he
no,
not?
Benzema and Bale scored two. Benzema scored one. Bale scored two.
Yeah. So I just wanted. Yeah. So I want to give the viewers exactly what happened. We were watching it at the bar, and yeah, so basically, no one was really looking at it because I think Marcelo was over on the left, and he was just sort of just like I think he had rent or some. I can't remember. You're right. I think it might have been Trent in front of him, and there was no attack. There was nothing going on, and
I was
Marcelo
just
then burst
talking.
down the Marcelo then burst down the line, and then well, I think the rest for every football fan knows. The rest is well one of the best goals I think Champions League football's ever saw at the stage of Gareth Bale's absolute wonder goal. And let's just I'm going to say
Well,
this
don't forget
politely.
about their first goal.
Yeah, well, the
Benzema
first goal
when
was good.
he tried to no when that's when Karius tried to
Oh,
roll the
that was the
ball out.
Karius fumble moment. Yes, that's
Yeah,
right.
he tried to roll the ball out, and Benzema just put his foot in the way of the ball,
Yeah,
and that
I
was after
forgot all
Salah
about
got
that.
taken off injured. That's when
Yeah,
Sergio Ramos destroyed Salah.
I mean, yeah, well, unless we disagreed with that day too, but um, yeah, to put this politely and lightly, I mean, when I screamed at his face, guys, I mean, I laughed at his face with screaming
And
laughter. It was
Stephen
quite
almost
funny.
hit you.
It was very funny, and I was still back. I was to laugh, and I will laugh again, and it was
That's
pretty
because
funny.
we
And if I
laughed in
ever,
your face when Mane scored. We were allowed to
yeah,
slap in you.
yeah, and I laughed, and I did, I lie, and I was deserved, but then I got my retaliation back twice when Bale scored an absolute wonder goal, and well, when Karius decided to put some butter on his gloves and let the ball slip between his hands. Remember when Bale scored the
The
third one
man's
outside the
not a
box?
goalkeeper. He's not a goalkeeper. I don't worry. I remember every goal from that match. That still traumatizes me to this day.
Oh, it was a good old day. It was fun. Yeah, this one, the last sort of segment's been all over the place. Sorry with this guys because it's just funny because we're close friends. I don't really care to tell you now. But then we'll go on to one of the most recent ones. I wasn't with you for
Oh,
this one. I was
baby.
actually watching this with my will be my father-in-law at the time, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just bring it back. So he's went to the new camp first, and he's got beat 3-0
3-0. Yeah, with the
with
Messi
that
wonder goal.
Messi wonder goal. Like, well, at the end of the day, he's this my well again to put the Ronaldo Messi debate. He's for me, it's Ronaldo, but one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
The wonder goal, and then so that's happened. So what was your emotions? What was the emotions like when Liverpool walked out of Barcelona 3-0 down? Now, taking into consideration, we all know Anfield's a special place to go to in a Champions League night, but before this, did you think you could win it? Be honest. Did you think you could bring it back to win
I
against
am not gonna
Barcelona?
lie to you. When I went into work, I said there is the slightest chance ever. I didn't have the most hope, but I swear nobody will believe I said this. I said this to my managers, all because they were all football fans. The chef is a Chelsea fan. I was like, I think if any team could do it, it's us, and it's at Anfield. I did say that, and I did have the tiniest bit of hope, but it was only a tiny bit of hope.
Yeah, so I'll let you break because that's not fair for me to break it down because I was a spectator at the time. And I didn't, obviously, I'm a football fan and I love the sport and have a passion for it, but to watch your club do it, I'd say it's a complete different ballpark. Um,
Yeah,
I'll let you explain it because I could rant and rave about it too because this is football, but I'll let you go on and I want
yeah.
you to give sort of emotion step by step and again, and I'm just taking into consideration that Magpie had a Bailey out this time instead of Barry, just to get into
I
consideration.
know. So I was going to the local, which I won't name as well, but I was going to the local, so I was going down with Marty. You know Marty,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
straight away, like we were 1 minute late, so I walked into the pub and I was away to meet the chefs and all from work because a few of them are Liverpool fans. So straight away, as I walk up to them, Divock Origi scores, and all I hear, everybody's screaming. I'm jumping about, and they're like, "Okay, walk out and come back in, and let's do that again."
yeah.
So that I already knew the crack was going to be good because we had scored early on. But then the whole first half, it was just us attacking, not making any chances, and Barcelona just kept getting chance after chance. My heart was not in a good place that match because it was going up, down, and that's what showed us Allison. Actually, he may have not looked like he was making unreal saves, but he had such probably the best game in a Liverpool shirt during that game. And then
Yeah, well, yeah.
Suarez taking out Robbo. That's when my hope went down the line. I was like, oh, we're taking on Wijnaldum for a left back. But then I forgot we were putting Milner in the left back, so we were kind of safe. That second goal, oh my, oh, like I didn't see it coming because
Um,
Trent loses the ball, and then he just puts a lovely cross in. Trent, the man's good at doing that. Like probably the best in the Premier League for putting crosses in from that side. And then it was history from there. That's when we just went 2 minutes later across from Shaqiri into Wijnaldum again. And I love Wijnaldum. Ah,
yeah,
Wijnaldum,
he's
I was
got a bit
just
of a
running.
steal off him against us.
I didn't know what to do. Like I was kind of in shock at the third one that I didn't scream. I was kind of just like, what is happening? Like I was laughing and I was just I've never been happier. And
So before you
I'm
go on to the last one, before
yeah,
the famous Trent one.
I wasn't even looking for it.
Yeah. So the Genie Wijnaldum, even like me, I love him to pieces. He left our club on a good high, so I can never say one bad thing about Genie. And he was our top goal scorer of the year, so I cannot say a bad word about him. He was a legend, blah blah blah. We went down, and well, he was a Premier League player, and you can see that definitely now anyway. But yeah,
Yeah.
even I get goosebumps even thinking about it because I actually love the players that did it. So that's made me annoyed about it. That's why even when I was watching it with Paul at the time, even I was like, I can't get mad at this because I love the guy. I can't get mad at this.
I think
And it was
everybody,
three.
even if you hate Liverpool, you have to get goosebumps from that game
Oh
because
yeah, if you're a football fan, like it's even to watch any comeback like that, but especially against the Barcelona side that any
dominated
Barcelona
us that
side,
first match as well.
yeah, like exactly. So, but yeah, I'll let you explain the next events of what just happened because even till this day, I still can remember seeing it and just remember looking at my Paul, just like, did that just happen? What?
Yeah.
Surely that's disallowed. The ref didn't blow the whistle. Surely that's disallowed.
No, I wasn't looking. Like me and all everyone were just talking because we saw it was going out for a corner.
Oh, we've lost him again, guys. We have lost his audio. Tim, are you there? Tim, we're losing your audio, bro.
And replay. Oh, did you hear
Tim?
any of that?
Oh, there he is.
Okay.
No, we lost your
What I
audio
was
there.
saying was,
So we'll
so
just
we
scrap
weren't
this one.
even
Yep.
watching the game because we saw that Trent was going for the corner, but then we saw Shaqiri walking over, so we were like, oh, it's going to be like another minute or two before the corner's being taken. We're all talking, and then all we hear is Origi, and none of us celebrated. That was the thing. We all just kind of looked in awe, just going like, "What happened? Like, is this a goal?" Because it didn't say that it was a goal, if it was being allowed or what. So we didn't know what to do. And then saw a replay, and everyone just clapped. We were just like, "Holy crap!" for a 20-year-old to think of that on the spot in probably one of the biggest games of his career. Oh, I love that man. Like, I do not want to get rid of him. Like, Trent is a genius in his own mind. Like,
Yeah, well, again, just your scenario was I couldn't believe it. Like I can just remember sitting and looking at it, like it has to be disallowed. Like the ref was still in the middle of the box pointing to players. No one was ready for it. Like I don't even think Origi was barely ready for it when the ball
yeah,
came into the box. Like
Origi was
no
the
one was
only
looking at
one
him.
that
It was
turned
just,
around at the
it
right
was
time.
literally just like
Nobody
wow,
knew that. Like he was celebrating to start off, and
literally.
everybody, including Liverpool players, were just kind of looking, going like, "What just happened?"
Because no one knew if it was like, is this allowed? Was the ref? No one heard the ref's whistle. Like even the assistant on the side, even
Yeah,
because usually the assistant stand in front of the ball.
only one
That
person knew what happened,
that didn't happen.
and that was
So everyone
Trent.
was looking at it like Trent was the only. Yeah, like, and I'm like, and I just kept looking at the TV like, did I just actually witness this? I can't believe this. What is happening? And her one's all going mad, and I'm like, oh my god, I can take her out of this house. I need to get out of this house immediately. I'm not going to hear the end of this. I need
And
to get out
then
of this house.
after the game as well, the
Um,
goosebumps from the "You'll
but
Never
yeah,
Walk
no, it
Alone" is what
is.
I'll always remember from that game.
Yeah, well, that's your thing. Like, so I don't really get it. But yeah, well, then obviously you go on, and
Shittest
to be
Champions
honest,
League
even you can
final
say it
I've seen.
probably, it
No,
was a pretty
I don't
boring
care because we
final.
won it, but
Yeah, pretty boring final. Yeah, but for me, I just thought Potts deserved some sort of credit, but he didn't really get it. He got sacked anyway. So we'll go on to the next stage of I don't really want to let you rant on about this
I
season, but
don't
if you
really
want
need
to,
a
go
rant
on
on
ahead, I
about this
guess.
season because this season
It's
has
just
just been something
yeah,
completely different that we haven't seen in a long time. As in, until Watford, we had won every single game apart from, uh, yeah, United. No, it was
you
United.
drew
Yeah, so we
against
had won every
Chelsea, I
game
think,
apart from
or
drawing
United,
against United.
United.
And then the thing I hated was we get beat by Watford, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's them slipping now. How are they going to come back from this?" And I'm like, "We're 22 points clear." Like I hate arguing with fans over when Liverpool go and win nearly every game the whole season, lose one. Everybody starts thinking, "Oh, back to default stage" and all that. And I'm like, I don't really know what to say to some of those fans.
Yeah, well, like even I admit it now. A lot of the boys admitted it. Like it's yeah. Even if the season was to, even
Yeah.
though it's not going to, thank God we've got football to watch soon. But if the season was to be null or not null and voided, to go on the points per game, you would have won it easily. But yeah, you deserve it for once,
It's gonna
and
be, but
you know
it's
it'll
gonna be
never happen
tinted
again.
no
So I may
matter
as well
what.
let it
Like Troy
experience
Deeney
once.
said, it's not gonna be the year that everyone remembers Liverpool winning the league.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's true. To be the year of the coronavirus, I do
I
agree with that.
hope
It
we
is
go out
unfair
and
for
do
us
it
as
again
well.
next
I
season
definitely do
just to
agree with
like
that.
show that we're still gonna be here for the next while.
Yeah, no, I agree with that too. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
so we'll move on to the final segment. So which is all I want you to do is name your best Liverpool 11. Now it can be past, previous.
Yeah.
Literally, you can go as far back as you want. Like you could as far back as you want. Literally go from start to the goalkeeper to the front. Play whatever formation you want. Doesn't It's up to you. And then to see
Okay,
what
I
we'll
am
see
gonna
where you
have
stick
a
at the
few
end.
present players, but I'm gonna have quite a few past. I'm probably just gonna keep the formation as actually I'm gonna go 4-4-2. I'm not gonna do wingers, so that's kind of a hint
Okay,
of
flat
what I'm
four.
going for. So my goalkeeper, I'll do manager last. So my
Right.
goalkeeper, I would always think it's gonna be Pepe Reina or there. While it will be Allison, but Allison will not make the cut because he's only been there short time. Pepe Reina was there longer, and he did it for longer. So Pepe Reina is going to be my goalkeeper. Two centre backs,
Okay.
just because I grew up loving them. I know you're going to call me crazy, Oh no, actually, I was going to say Iger Skirtle, but I'm going to have Van Dijk and Daniel Iger. Carragher doesn't make
Okay,
it
well, I
there for
thought
me. I
Carragher.
just
Okay.
love Daniel Iger, and he never got the praise of the work
Mm,
he actually put in. Right back,
okay.
right back.
Surprised
It's for
Carragher
me,
didn't make
Trent.
that.
I don't know. I will always say Trent. Left back. The reason I'm choosing this left back is because I know John Arnorisa played left back, left mid, but I'm not putting him as the left back
Hmm.
spot. For me, my favorite left back of all time was Jose Enrique. I loved him. The man. That's a
Okay.
big shout
Okay. Yeah,
though.
I know.
That is a
Ex-Newcastle
big
player
shout
too.
because I know a lot of people may have not loved him, but I loved
It's
him.
a massive
The
shout.
reason I didn't want to put Jose
Yeah.
Enrique, no, I didn't want to pay Arnorisa there is because I'm putting him as left mid, John Arnorisa. Two centre mids is
Okay.
quite simple. It's Gerrard and Xabi Alonso for me.
Yeah.
Um,
That was easy, that one.
See, if I
Yeah.
want to
I
go
think that's a
right
lot of
mid,
Liverpool's.
I want to, Salah's did it, but I don't know if I can really fit Salah into it. If I'm thinking back, there's no one really that did our
It's
right
tough.
side as good as him. We've never had the best right side because I know, but Sterling
Sterling.
was
Yeah, it's
not
Sterling
good.
though.
Not as good as Salah when he was playing for Liverpool. At the moment, Sterling is probably one of the best footballers in the Premier League. I probably will choose
Yeah.
Salah. And then my two up top is going to be Suarez and Torres. So Mane and
Okay.
Firmino doesn't make
Pretty.
it into the team. I wish I could have
Firmino.
put them in, but I couldn't. It's just
Okay.
no room. And then
Well,
Rafa
then
happened,
the
you
gaffer. Who's the
guys.
gaffer? Again, you
But
could pick
like,
pass.
if I was going
Oh,
by
Mr.
best of
Benitez,
all
brilliant
time,
striker.
for
Yeah.
me, it's Bobby Shankly.
Okay. So I'm going to hit you with
Okay,
the same thing I hit Curtis with, and then we'll end it. You have to replace one player in that best 11 with a Newcastle player. Now, it cannot be Alan Shearer because everyone would pick Shearer. So anyone you want,
I know what I'm
you have
saying
to replace
already.
one of them with a Newcastle.
Daniel
Again, past or
Liger for
present.
Lascelles.
That hit me.
Yeah, it
Really?
would either because I'm
Oh,
not. I would love John Joe Shelby to come back
the,
because he's good, but we had him, and I'm not taking the midfield out. If I was going to change, okay,
you could go
I
past,
know.
or you can go past as well. You don't have to pick present club, present 11. You can go past.
I know. Maybe actually Pepe Reina for Shea Gibbon.
So far, that's
Yeah.
exactly the shot I was
I would
thinking. I
probably go
didn't really.
Pepe Reina for Shea
Yeah.
Gibbon. Yeah, I would change that actually there. See, there's a few I could change though,
Yeah.
because
Well,
like I would,
yeah.
if I
Okay.
was
Fair
going to
enough.
change like position, I'd put Arnorisa back and left back, and probably take a good St. Maximum up my left side instead.
So you haven't seen a lot of Maxi this season. You only see what what we saw him this year, which he does look good. But so
Yeah,
yeah, we're putting Shea instead of
I'll do
Renan then.
that.
Perfect. Well, then that's it then. You want to shout anything? That's everything for me. Do you want to shout anything out, Tim? You don't have any socials, so you can't even
Check
shout
my
socials out because
Instagram,
you're listening.
guys. There isn't one.
You don't have one exactly. You don't have you. Like you're the worst person. Like, you have literally zero socials.
I'm
You've nothing to
underground,
shout out.
like the cops can't find me.
Absolutely useless. But guys, yes, that's it. Thanks very much for coming on, Tim. Even though you were literally only awake like a half an hour. Um, even though we've been on this podcast for over an hour. For you viewers, there's a lot of
Yay!
editing for me to do. Just take that into consideration. But
No problem,
yeah, no,
mate.
thanks
Thank
very
you
much for
for
coming
inviting me
on.
on.
As I say, guys, no problem. As a typical Scouser, though, gonna have to get you on eventually. Yes, guys, I'm on. Remember, check out the Irish Impulse Network, where myself and my other friend Connor have a podcast, and he has a like show where he does the F1 stuff. Check out all that out. I'm on major platforms, guys: Spotify, Apple Music, everything. So, yeah, don't be afraid to check me out. Like, share, subscribe on Facebook as well and Instagram. And guys, I will
Away
catch you
the
in a bit.
lads.
And away the lads.